Hello, workmates. Welcome to Work and Talk in PH, your go to podcast for lifestyle insights, career convos, and real estate realness, where chill convos meet real life lessons because hashtag it works.
I'm Daniel, and good day to everyone. In today's episode, it's all about living with purpose, staying disciplined, and embracing a healthy lifestyle that actually works in real life. Joining us is someone who embodies that balance, health advocate, coach, and motivator, Bam Alcobendas. Welcome to the podcast, Bam, and so very happy that you can join us today.
Yes, thanks for having me. Leo. It's an honor. I try to do what I do, right? But platforms like this help sort of spread the word, even in a small way. So I appreciate this.
And
Thank you.
yes, and thanks for the opportunity because a lot of people need to hear this message. It's
Hmm.
something that's important, something that's vital, but not a lot of people know about it.
Yes,
Okay.
and can also be controversial at times, right? Because
True.
there's so many different beliefs and principles. So I hope we will respect everyone's principles, but also this is based on my own testimony and my
In your
years,
personal journey.
yeah, my personal journey and my years of experimenting on myself. Unfortunately, right? I'm still alive, so I'm okay.
The actual guinea pig.
Yes.
So let's start from the beginning so that our listeners can get to know you better, Bam. Before we dive into health and science, can you share with us a bit of your journey?
So I'll start with just what I used to do before, right? And I think that's probably where most of my initial health issues came from. So as a professional, I've been with the BPO and contact center industry for close to 24, 25
Almost
years.
forever.
Yes.
Okay.
But 21 years of that was in the graveyard shift, right? Night shift. So I know we have a huge population of Filipinos working in the same industry. So it makes it even more difficult and also very relevant and making them susceptible to certain things in health that normally you wouldn't have when you are sleeping the normal hours, right? But
Okay.
it started there, and then I got diagnosed with hypertension sometime around I think 2008 or 2009. So from there, been taking
Medication.
medication on and off, and I had a lot of different medications that I tried, different cardios, right? So for the most part, it was contained, right? But I wasn't feeling good. Right? I wasn't feeling good. It wasn't optimal, and it would spike depending on what I'm doing, right? If I sleep well, I'm better. If I don't sleep well, I'm much worse.
So the medicines were just like managing the symptoms.
Yes, really. And even with, right, that's the surprising part, Danes. Even with the medication, I still get those spikes,
Okay.
right? So it couldn't really address everything, and I had maximum dosage too. It's
Wow.
not it's
Okay.
not like half a dosage; it's
The
maximum
maximum
dosage,
dosage.
and you get the spikes, right? And you observe it and try to track, okay, what am I doing? What are the activities that I'm doing that causes this, right? So it started there, and so I accepted that, right? And I accepted the fact that, oh, it's hereditary. My grandfather had it, my father had it, and my father passed away due to complications,
Because of
kidney,
hypertension.
yeah, but started all with heart problems, hypertension, heart attacks, and then liver. So it's a domino effect, right? It creates that ripple effect in the body. But then things really took a turn when during the pandemic, right? So obviously people couldn't go out. You stayed at home, and we were not very
Healthy.
nice and healthy, and we were not very disciplined, right? We were doing all the bad habits during the pandemic.
Because you can sleep late,
Work
you
at
can eat
home,
whatever.
sleep late, wake up early, drink every day. There's a ban, right? And obviously you have a liquor ban. All the more you want to drink, right? And you want to get alcohol. So we drank, we ate bad stuff, and then we didn't really sleep well. And plus, there's no exercise. There's no movement because
Correct.
you can't go anywhere, right? You can exercise. So that went on for a while. And we lived in a condo, and we had a small community, a group of people that come to our house every day, right? So that's what we did. But then I started feeling really bad that I've never felt before. Right? And one day I remember I would just go up, and we're on the ground floor, but there's a few steps there, like 3 or 4 steps, right? Not even highly inclined. I had chest pain. Right?
Okay.
I would go up, go
That's
through, and
super
then walk
scary,
a
correct.
few, and I had chest pain. I said, "Oh my god,
Well,
okay, this is not normal. I've never felt this before." And I kind of knew it was catching up to me, right? I was getting older, but at that time I had two new little ones, right? I had a my daughter was just born, my youngest, and then the other one was about a year and a half, right? I
So it
said,
put fear in you. It's because
absolutely,
longevity, you need to be there for your family.
absolutely, and that flashes in front of you. They say your life flashes in front of your eye. That happens, man. So it was flashing in my head, like, okay,
And just by you walking up 5 flights of
yes,
stairs.
yes,
Okay.
and it's not even
High
big
stairs. Yeah.
flights. It was long and low,
But you
low
got
flights.
winded right
I
away.
got winded, right? And not just wind.
Pain.
There's like sharp pain. But I said, if I want to see my children grow up, I gotta do something, right? I gotta change
So that was your
something.
wake up call, Bam.
Really, it was, right? And they were very young, right? And I just wanted to see them grow up, have their own family, and then I'll be okay, right? So that became my motivation. And I guess a blessing was in those groups, right? In those sessions where we had friends come over, there was one person there. He was quiet, right? He was silent. I won't name his name. Like I shouldn't. But um, when he had a few drinks, he started to open up, right? He started to talk more about his journey. And I said, okay, this is very interesting, right? And although I wasn't big, I wasn't obese, I wasn't really overweight, it didn't matter because I was feeling something that was scary. So I started talking to him more. I started asking him more questions. He said, Bam, you know what? I don't really like sharing this. I don't like forcing this on people because it's not well
As
accepted.
mainstream,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not well accepted. And plus, we have different beliefs. Our bodies are different. I can't force this. But if someone's interested, like you're asking me questions, I would share it. He was less than a year ago. I think at that time when we were talking, he was about 280 pounds,
Okay.
and he started doing research and he got into the ketogenic diet. So after that, doing it for a few months, he got down to about 220. So not bad, right? He lost about 50, 60 pounds in that short period of time. And he said it's not enough, there's more to this. So he got obsessed in more research, right? He got started studying. And so
Correct.
he taught me other things about not just ketogenic diet in general, but also elimination diets and all and how things work, right? He was very good at explaining and remembering how the body works and how things work and how it affected him. At that time, it was also the ketogenic diet was sort of a fad. Like, a lot of
Correct. A
people
lot of
were
people were doing the intermittent
intermittent
fasting,
fasting and all
any
that.
kind of fasting.
Yeah, so it's just a fad. And so that got me more interested in doing it. And mind you, dates, I forgot to mention, I did try the ketogenic diet even before that. My brother was doing it well before I was.
Okay.
It didn't work for me, right? Because
Okay.
you had to count calories and you had to all constantly count
Whatever
the
you're,
contents,
yeah.
right? So that stressed me out more than seriously, right? It works for other people.
Yeah.
That's the conventional way.
I can count calories.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
it's
too difficult.
and
Yeah.
it stressed me out because I had to keep tracking everything that I eat or drink or consume, right? So I did it for about a week or two. You had meal plans
You said, no,
delivered. I
no,
said,
this
this
isn't for
isn't for
me.
me, right? So I
Okay.
stopped. But then when I met this guy, the approach was very simple, right? So that's where my journey started, really.
That's very interesting. So, from what happened to you and from what you've learned from your friend, this now became a new passion project for you.
Yes. And
Being able to research more and communicate with people that are very open to receive your message.
yes.
So, how was it accepted within your circle first?
That's a great question. Initially, they thought it was a bit odd,
Okay.
right? And me and my wife, we love to eat, right? I cook, she cooks, she loves to eat. And that's our bonding time, right? That's our quality time where we eat, we try new foods. But of course, I started avoiding certain things and I started lessening certain things. So initially, it didn't go so well, right? Because now I'm taking away that bonding quality time that we always enjoy, right? So she gets frustrated a little bit. But now she's learning more and she's accepting, she's more respectful of it and she's open to it. She's also applying some of the principles there. But with the friends, it was mixed because initially, I've been doing this for 5 years. Initially, of course, I didn't know that much, right? So I didn't really get to share much because I was in that journey of learning myself and researching, and most of it, most of the research I do is pertaining to me and my condition. Every person's body is different, right? So I would refer to research and material certain things just for me, uh, and then it clicked, right? A lot of things now made sense and became more simple to a point where I could now horizontally do more research and more broad scale and understanding more of human biology, not just myself, but being able to apply it to certain right, different areas. So it became broad when I started more of that research and connecting more dots. Now that's when people started to slowly listen to it. And I remember I have an uncle, right? He's so stubborn. We call him the junk king. He's also in media, right? I won't say who his name is, but he has his own podcast. He works for the government, but we call him the junk king because he just really loves junk food. Anytime of the he's crunching, he's munching on things. So it was very hard to get him to believe and to stop, right? So and my brother tried, they tried again, they failed. He did vegan, he didn't like it, so many things. And finally, once I had a better understanding, and I focus on how I can explain it in the simplest way that everyone can understand it, right? Because that's very hard to understand in scientifically and medically nutritional concepts sometimes are very hard to understand. And so being able to simplify it, you get more people to really listen and
Because
understand.
what happened in your journey was that you got information of how other people did it. Then you were able to learn that it was something that needed an individualistic approach
Yes.
because it has to be tailor made to what your body can do and what your body can't do.
Yes.
And that's the research that you did.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And more so, of course, body is very different, but also the mind, right?
Okay.
Remember, your your mind controls how you will be disciplined, and if it's something that
So what was the initial step? Because you know right now that during that time you said, okay, I'm unhealthy. I need to do something different. You talked to a friend and your friend said, this is what I did and this helped me. How did you specifically start your journey? What did you have to do first to know what you needed to change?
my anchor means, and this is hopefully true for everyone. I had to anchor down my purpose.
Okay.
I had to lock down my purpose because I'm thinking, right, and that moment of thinking of my youngest daughters and my family, of course,
Of
right,
course.
and my entire family.
Your reason for
Yes,
why you're
that
gonna
was
do this.
my reason, my selfish personal reason at that time. I said, this is my purpose, right, and this is where I will draw my motivation and strength to push on and continue this. And with that purpose, everything became easier because now the education became very, it was very targeted to specific things, right? And then ultimately it broadened to from helping myself, helping my loved ones, my people close to me, now helping more people, like the masses, right? That's a dream, that's an aspiration, but a lot of people are already doing it in the US and all that. I learned from multiple different
Sources.
professionals and disciplines, not just one, right? That broadens the knowledge base. And I try it, right? I try it on myself. And then
So as you mentioned, you tried everything
I
first.
tried, yes, a lot of
Did you
it.
start with different diets first?
Different diets. I take different supplements. I do different fasting times, fasting windows, and I purposely eat bad things to see how it affects my body, right? And I
Okay.
purposely do that. Um, and then the discipline became easier, right?
Okay.
Because I had a purpose. That was the main anchor of how I could be disciplined, but also knowing, right, the education piece that comes in, knowing, okay, if I eat this, whatever this is, and I know how that impacts my body downstream long term, you would choose not to, right? So a lot of the discipline is drawn also from the knowledge and also the weighing. Is it worth it, right? Pros and cons. Is it worth it for one bar of chocolate or one bite of this, and then the long term effect on my body, right? So that's more of how I started that.
And I think what you said earlier that really having that first purpose,
Yes.
because if you don't have that motivation, you're not going to be able to complete anything because you need to anchor your desires and your goals with your purpose.
Yes. Yes.
So there is still science behind all of this
Absolutely.
because
Yes.
you said you tried everything. You did diets, you tried different foods, you tried to evaluate its effects on you. But How did you do it? How did you approach it in a more scientific capacity?
So a lot of the learnings I get are already science based, right? So I don't just take some learning or education without going through the evidence or clinical trials and
Like for
the
example,
results.
Bam, what was the first thing you did?
Let me see. So we were looking at. So I was very interested in the effects of cholesterol, right? Cholesterol, and we were looking
Because
at.
were you already taking
Yeah.
medication for it?
So apart from my medication for hypertension, I was also prescribed with statins,
Okay.
right? So all the while I thought, hey, this is good. It limits my cholesterol, this and that. So I take it. I took it for a while, and then going in through just looking at into the topic of cholesterol, I learned so many things that are really the opposite of what was being prescribed to myself. So I got very concerned. I won't go into too much detail, but everything that I thought about the concept of cholesterol was wrong or the opposite, right? And I looked at a lot of trials, studies, plus also specialists, not just cardiologists, right, but specialists that really study cholesterol, how it works in the body, and it was eye opening, right? And so I had a different perspective of that, and so now I apply that. I stop statin medication, and then I apply those concepts, and I feel much better.
Because we learned from an earlier age that we have good cholesterol, bad
Yes,
cholesterol.
even that.
But apparently, everything has a purpose.
Yes. So
So
even when you call it bad cholesterol, I know they vilify or demonize LDL. They call it bad cholesterol, but it's not really that case, right? I would refer to it more as if you have cholesterol that is not produced by your body, that's bad, right? That becomes the worst cholesterol. But if you're producing natural cholesterol in your body, that's good because it has its own purpose. And I've blood tests and all that. You see, I have high cholesterol. I have low triglycerides. Right, that's basically the triglyceride cholesterol ratio keeps you healthy. I feel fine. Right, I don't feel bad. And a lot of the studies show, especially in the centenarians, right, those people that are really above the age of 100 in blue, they call them blue zones around the world. The common denominator they had was very high cholesterol. Right,
that's so interesting, Bam.
it's crazy.
Crazy.
And not just high, like you have the limit for 200, 220, whatever it is. They're like double or triple that limit
And
that
they've reached
prescribed
that
limit, and
age.
they've reached over 100 years
Is
old.
this something already very popular outside of the Philippines?
It's gaining traction for sure, right? But the studies have only just really gone out
And it's
and
not yet
begun.
mainstream in the medical field.
Yes, that's probably it's not yet. I probably won't be, but I hope it does because there we have people going to those blue zones and actually staying there for a long time and studying. Like, what are you doing? Why do you live so long? And there's a lot of funny habits that they do. Like they drink wine in the morning, right?
Correct.
Who would think of doing that? But it's just many. It's a combination of things, relationships, family, right? The more bonded they are with families, most of those blue zones also had that in common. The longer they live.
So a lot of people might be watching and would probably say, I'm like that now. I'm that person that would just go up a few flights of stairs and I'll be winded. I'd have chest pains. Or I probably be someone that would say I'm already hypertensive.
Mm-hmm.
I have high cholesterol. If you can give an advice for someone that's trying to look for alternatives to, or even a way out of being, in in this medical condition, what do you think should be their first step?
Great question. It's a very broad stroke of answers, but I would probably classify the main things that we should be looking at. Right, you have your sleep, you have your movement or exercise. I don't want to call it just exercise, just general movement in that sense. You have your nutrition, which constitutes your diet, and not just your diet, but the time that you eat, your eating window, and the time that you're not eating, which is your fasting window. Whether you're doing intermittent fasting or just fasting by default, very important. And then lastly, your hydration, right? In that order. I would, and it's hard to rank because if you rank those four, I would say most impactful would probably be the sleep, right? If you're good with the other three and but you don't sleep well, probably the effect is not as good, or you will still feel downstream negative effects because sleeping is just so important, right? That's where all the magic happens. Movement in general, any movement is good, right? I'm not talking about, oh, I go to the gym every day, right?
I lift this much weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just move, right? It's better than being sedentary. That's the new very dangerous lifestyle now, is being sedentary, and especially through COVID and through the pandemic, right? A lot of people are now working from home. It's very bad, right? So just move. Better to get out, just walk, and walk with the scenery, a different pathway. Your brain gets stimulated. But even if you can't do that, just move at home, right? A treadmill at home is still better than
Like minimum
running.
number of minutes to do it.
Doesn't matter. 10 minutes, 15
As
minutes
long as
is
you're
good.
moving.
And then nutrition, I would say nutrition probably would have the biggest impact across multiple geographies and multiple just different types of people, because it's the single most impacting thing that we consume every day, right? Since the birth of many ultra processed foods, and Filipinos being foodies, a lot of us are foodies.
Especially with the holiday
Oh yeah,
coming.
this the
A lot of
holidays for sure.
overeating, a lot of fatty foods, a lot of
Oh,
sweets. I'm so
absolutely.
excited.
But even me, I struggle, right, during that period where it's the holidays, and if I can call myself, I'm quite disciplined. I wouldn't say I'm
Ultra disciplined.
ultra
Right?
disciplined and top notch student, right? But during holidays, it's very tempting, right? Everything's there, and there's a, hey, try this, try
Try
that,
this.
and you feel disrespectful if you don't try it, right? But there's still ways to
Maybe
move
try
around.
portions.
Yes, move around that, because it based on nutritious, less is better, of course, right? Or portioning, or just in moderation, mostly in moderation. But there are things that you can, once you know your body well enough, and once you've done this for a long time, you know what your thresholds are, right? And I know I can eat a slice of cake or half a piece of cake, and I won't get the negative effects, right? But for someone else that eats the same amount, might have a different effect on their body, right? It's also important for you to know how your body reacts to certain things.
Correct. In your last one, you said hydration. We've
Hydration.
heard 8 glasses of water a day. So
So
is that still something that should be done?
it is but you have to be mindful of what hydration really means, because it's not just water in the body, right? Water is good, but you need water that has the right minerals and salinity, so that you maintain hydrated. uh, Too clean water, like filtered water, distilled water, probably not the best. You still like want mineral water that has some minerals in it. And then probably a very easy hack that everyone can do is, in the morning you drink salt water, right? A pinch of Celtic salt or Himalayan salt. uh, those salts that are not totally washed, that has trace minerals in it, that
Very
in
healthy. You put a pinch of it in
just
your
a pinch of
water.
it early morning, that gives your body raw materials, so that you can process things, and you can go through your process in the body more efficiently and better, because you have materials to use, right?
So if you want to start your fitness journey or healthy lifestyle journey, you really need to do first is prioritize sleep,
Yeah.
then do movement at least 15 minutes.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be
No,
strenuous.
doesn't have to be. It's
Just
better. It's better, especially when you're aging. It's better to have strength training,
okay.
and you stress. There's a lot of stress is actually healthy stress.
Okay.
If you think about it, right? Straining your body, bones, your muscles will help it grow. You release hormones, growth hormones, and all of that that can help you be stronger, because as you age, right, you lose muscle mass.
So that's a time you really need to concentrate
Yes.
on gaining muscle
Yeah,
mass.
so gain muscle mass now, so that when you age, you are less susceptible to deteriorating because of
True.
losing
The
muscle.
nutrition. So
Ah,
the best thing to do is first avoid sugar. Drink your water with a pinch of salt
mhm.
so that you have
Nutrition.
minerals, right?
The nutrition part is very broad, but if we want to focus on a few things in terms of nutrition, just uh, definitely simple sugars and processed sugars. Try to avoid as much of that as possible. Same thing with ultra processed foods. Maybe for a different topic, we can.
So hard, Bam, especially
It's
for a sweet tooth.
yes, it's tough. I know you
Yeah.
probably a sweet tooth too. I was before, right? But knowing what it does will help you really sort of back off a little bit and stay within your thresholds, right? So if I would choose among, because nutrition is so broad, but those simple sugars and also those ultra processed foods, we can get into that probably in the future, some details
Yes.
here. But basically, as the food items or food products that are very far from its original form, right? The whole food form down to the table processing into what it is today. Avoid those two things, you'll probably be so much better, right? Because there's a lot of debate about eating rice. Remove rice and you'll be fine.
But rice is life, right?
Yeah, not the case, right? For Filipinos too, there's pasta, right?
Yes.
There's noodles and all of that. There's bread. I love bread. Okay, that's one thing I had a hard time giving up. I love bread. I can do away with pasta and rice, but bread I love and I still crave it from time to time. But if you remove those sugars and those ultra processed foods in your diet, you can consume rice, you can consume pasta, you can consume bread, of course in moderation,
Yes.
and it wouldn't be that detrimental to
To your
health,
health.
right? So it's really those two major categories that are causing a compounding effect in the body, right? And then of course hydration. Just understanding that hydration is not just water,
Water.
but it's the minerals
That
that
you
you
need to.
get from salt, and also potassium, magnesium. All those things are related to better hydration. Right? That's why there are electrolyte drinks and all that. It has most of it, and so you don't have to think about what do I need to do to stay hydrated, because if you don't do that, you have to get some of the minerals from the food that you eat, and which naturally still contains most of the rehydrating or electrolytes that you need. But still, right, it just helps.
So this has moved on beyond just you, Bam, because this is now something that you tell your friends, you tell office mates, you tell acquaintances, because it's something that you're now passionate about. You want
Very.
people to take a look and really see what they're putting into their bodies and how to live longer, healthier.
Yes, very much, and it hurts me knowing what I know now and seeing people that just very simple adjustments in life, not even the big ones, right? Not even the expensive that you can take. Just small adjustments in their life can make a huge impact, both from a longevity point of view, how long they can live, and also their quality of life.
So if people want to get in touch with you and want to ask you more questions about how they can start in this journey, what do they need to do?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I can share my details and links so we can share that. But yeah, if I can help one person live longer and a better quality of life, I'd be happy.
So thank you so much, Bam, for sharing your journey and insights, for finding purpose, and for keeping discipline and even exploring the science of what you're doing now, DNA, being able to find solutions really based on what your body needs. To our listeners, remember, you don't need to make big leaps and overnight. Start with small, stay consistent, and find what works for you. Don't forget to follow Work and Talking PH for more episodes like this, where we highlight work that matters and people behind it. Again, I am Daniel, and this is Work and Talking PH, your go-to podcast for lifestyle, real estate insights, career convos, where chill convos meet real life lessons because it works.